Floyd Mayweather recently broke his silence on the upcoming Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Tank Davis showdown, and he didn't hold back. Floyd said that Tank is now making his own choices, and, with that, taking full responsibility for the risks involved. He revealed that he has offered guidance before, but if that advice isn't followed, it's no longer his concern. Still, Mayweather admitted the fight is great for business and for boxing's global exposure. The money is massive, the spotlight is undeniable. And despite his reservations, he made it clear he'll definitely be watching when the bell rings.
Within my company, within my team, do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
The entire boxing world is split down the middle over the upcoming Davis versus Paul matchup. Fans, analysts, and former champions have all taken sides, flooding social media with heated debates. Some see it as a marketing stunt meant to sell tickets and clicks, while others argue it's a bold step for Tank, a chance to cross over and reach audiences beyond traditional boxing circles. Inside gyms and studios, voices clash, some defending Tank's business move, others calling it a sign that the sport is losing its identity. What's undeniable is that this fight has turned into a cultural event. It's one that has everyone talking.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they're gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. Would you say number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur. That he ain't gonna do him no favors. That he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean. That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean. You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean. You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game, but you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean. But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is kind of crazy.
Trainer Greg Hackett voiced his frustration with the backlash Gervonta Davis has been facing. He said fans today criticize everything fighters do without ever understanding the personal sacrifices behind their choices. According to Hackett, if Tank wants to fight Jake Paul, that decision deserves respect, not ridicule. No one outside the ring truly knows what a fighter goes through, he explained. Hackett believes fans have forgotten the discipline, pain, and sacrifice it takes to stay elite. To him, the internet has made it too easy for people to judge from the sidelines, turning boxing debates into online chaos. His message was clear: stop dictating fighters' careers and start appreciating their grind.
Like, he done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is this business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get from you.
Separate storm erupted around sports analyst Max Kellerman, whose recent takes on Gervonta Davis sparked controversy across the boxing community. Kellerman has been accused of bias, with critics saying he constantly downplays Tank's accomplishments. In several of his recent appearances, he questioned whether Davis was ever a legitimate champion, claiming his record lacked defining victories. Many boxing experts slammed those comments, calling them disrespectful and out of touch with reality. They argued that Kellerman ignores Davis's knockout record and his dominance inside the ring. The debate reignited a long-standing issue in the sport: how media bias and selective storytelling can shape a fighter's public image more than their actual achievements.
Because Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion. that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. Bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing. And to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta, that Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135. And there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary. The title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's there.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi also weighed in, delivering one of the harshest takes on the fight. He blasted the idea of Gervonta Davis stepping into the ring with Jake Paul, saying it sends the wrong message to real boxing fans. According to Paulie, knockouts only matter when the fight itself carries integrity, when two evenly matched warriors face off. He warned that these manufactured matchups confuse casual fans and dilute the sport's prestige. In his talk with analyst Chris Algieri, Malignaggi said plain and simple, this isn't the boxing he grew up loving, allowing social media-made fighters to share stages with elite champions. He said, blurs the line between entertainment and true competition. His words hit deep, calling out a sport that's struggling to balance tradition with the modern.
Knockouts, dude. Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture knockouts.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists, though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist, if he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of
Witherspoon. That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when you gonna fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone.
But not everyone is critical. Popular boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult offered a more positive take after watching the official press conference. He admitted he originally thought Jake Paul's size advantage would be too much for Tank, but after seeing Davis in person, calm, composed, and razor-sharp, Showbiz changed his mind. He said Tank's poise and professionalism made it clear he understands the magnitude of this fight. What impressed him most was Tank's quiet confidence, his ability to remain unshaken by the hype. According to Showbiz, people might be underestimating Davis's intelligence and adaptability. He believes Tank's timing, speed, and ring IQ could completely neutralize Jake's power and shock the world.
I'll be damn like this kid. Listen, I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap. I know Tank wasn't saying much, fumbling over his words, seems bashful, but I'm looking, right? And I'm just like, bro, he doesn't feel that Jake Paul is an issue. Even though he said it, he doesn't feel like he has to whoop his ass. He doesn't feel threatened. That's the word. He doesn't feel threatened, but he does feel out of his element. I'm gonna be honest, man. It sounds like, I know everybody's looking at this press conference and it's like, number one, I know what y'all saying. It's a clown show. It's not real. Tank was paid off. It's fake. Because Tank, when he was talking about Jake and JB, even I was like, what is he talking about?
He laughing.
What are you talking about? What does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. No, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you and him.
So that I could understand if that's your concern. I am being extremely truthful with how I feel about this and how I'm reacting to this. My oldest son was like, I see the same thing, Dad, but you're going to get a weird response to your take.
Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather's name has once again entered the headlines, but not as a promoter this time. Reports suggest Floyd is in talks for a potential bout with Mike Tyson. Analysts say it's not just about money. It's about pride and presence. Floyd has built his legacy on always being the center of attention. With the world buzzing about Davis versus Paul, he seems unwilling to let anyone else steal the spotlight. Too many observers? This is classic Mayweather, a man fueled by legacy, competition, and control. As Gervonta and Jake prepare to create their moment, Floyd may be preparing his own, reminding everyone that even in retirement, he refuses to fade quietly into the background.